What's up guys, my name is Dean, aka the Blue Crusader, and welcome back to another video. So today what we're going to be talking about is the new Fallout game coming out soon, which is Fallout 76. In this video I'm going to actually display all the information we know about it so far. Obviously it was a few days ago now, so it's not brand new news, but I do want to talk about all of the information which has been released ever since then and recently, and in the background we'll also be playing some Fallout New Vegas as well. So as you can see, currently we are actually playing the Fallout New Vegas game. This is pretty old. I don't really think I've played this much. I was actually going to play it on my old PC, but it was really slow and laggy. So basically the game looks really awesome. I'm sure most of you guys have already seen the trailer, and we have a little bit of information so far. They have released a lot of information on this so far, but what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to actually be making a follow-up video to this as well, actually talking about the new Elder Scrolls game, because the Elder Scrolls game, as you guys know, was just a little bit of a teaser, whereas with this they've actually given us a lot of information. So that video will most likely be mainly just speculation on the topic. So far the release date, we've been told that it's going to come out on November the 14th this year, so it is coming out this year, 2018, which is going to be really cool. Obviously for Elder Scrolls 6, like I said for a different video, we don't yet know any release date information, and they are working on so many different things right now that the chance that that's coming this year or next is probably off the table. That'll probably be another 2 or 3 years, but it is nice that they've given us a teaser to say that it is under works. So one thing that's actually prominent so far is basically whoever does actually pre-order it will actually get access to the beta, but so far we haven't actually received any information when the beta is going to be, so it will be interesting for them to actually tell us when they're actually going to release that. If anyone's interested in getting the pre-order release of the game, they will eventually get access to the beta, and I presume that will be over the platforms such as Steam. I think it will only be exclusive to Steam, because I know it is an online game, so I will presume that they'll be using the Steam service. The next thing which is really interesting is it's actually going to be set in the area of West Virginia in the United States, which is really cool. This is actually a really cool place to actually set the location, mainly because this actually opens up opportunities for so many different stories about folklore, conspiracies, cryptids and weird creatures, because you guys might have seen that I did do a top 10 video on myths and cryptids quite a while ago, featuring many different monsters from different areas and kind of myths and legends. This is actually going to be really cool because in West Virginia there is actually a few of these cryptid stories. You'll see that if you've seen the trailer, they have already featured some of these. You can see Mothman flying through the sky, or you can see like his wings or something, and that's kind of teased. And then also there's the Wendigo, which is another popular urban myth or cryptid creature from the area. So we're going to get kind of a few different spooky things, a little bit like GTA 5 did with Bigfoot in one of those missions and the San Andreas myths. So that's going to be really cool, and hopefully they'll be part of a mission, or maybe you'll just see them as a sighting or something. I'm not sure how they're going to get implemented into the game, but that's also really cool news. The next thing is it's actually going to be an online game, so this isn't going to be a battle royale game. It's not going to be any multiplayer MMORPG. Obviously a lot of people are expecting it to have loads of players on. I've read into it a little bit, and so far it does seem to be most likely just like a 3 or 4 player game. It probably won't have many players supported, but for once it's actually really cool that we're going to have some kind of Fallout or Elder Scrolls game, obviously Fallout in this case, being a multiplayer experience, because I kind of would prefer an Elder Scrolls multiplayer, but I guess if you want something like that you're probably going to have to look towards Elder Scrolls Online, which is an MMO, which is why they are clearly stating that this isn't. It's going to be pretty interesting. It's going to be something unique and new, but I would presume so that there will only be like 3 or 4 people actually allowed to play on each server, because obviously since it's not an MMO, which is massively multiplayer online, they probably won't support many players on the game. So one cool thing is it's actually going to have base building in it. Obviously we've seen a lot of popular titles like Fortnite and things like that have base building, but this is going to be more like the Fallout 4 base building system. So currently we are actually playing Fallout New Vegas, but on Fallout 4 they do have a base building and a settlement system. I haven't actually played much of Fallout 4, so I can't really give too much of an experience on that, and I can't really act like I'm a huge fan of it because I haven't really played the game much. I did play the first segment of the game, which was actually really good, and I do want to get around to completing it, which I probably will most likely do now that we've got this news. But basically they're going to have a similar building system to that game, and they're going to implement it into this. So what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to build bases, and also there's going to be waves of enemies like creatures that will be able to attack and infest these bases and damage and destroy parts of your base. So it's kind of going to be a survival offensive against these creatures, which is going to be really cool. So I'm not sure if it's going to be like wave based or if there's going to be missions in it. They haven't really given too much information on it so far, but everything seems really cool. Also, the most interesting thing which I actually found out from reading into this is the fact that they do have plans to actually enable or support mods for this. I know that Fallout 4 doesn't have mod support whatsoever on the Steam Workshop, and I'm not sure how they're going to implement mods on a multiplayer version of the game. Obviously that's going to enable things to be a little bit too easy, especially if you get mods with overpowered weapons and things, but they are giving us the chance to actually use them. Obviously they might be regulated in some form, but the fact that they're actually going to enable mods on multiplayer is actually really cool and super interesting. We'll just have to see how they pull that off, because at the minute there's so many different options that they can do with mods, and the fact that mods would make the game really simple, and it's multiplayer, so everyone else, are they going to see the mods? Are you going to have to use mods off the store rather than free downloads? I'm not sure how they're thinking about implementing that, but they did say that they won't support them on release. We are actually going to have to wait a little bit of a while to actually get access to those. Another thing is all the NPCs. Obviously we're on Fallout New Vegas right now. If you see the NPC in front of me, this is a human NPC that we're interacting with, which is an AI player, and on the new title, none of the human interactions on the game will be NPC based, so we're not going to have any NPCs as humans. They're all going to be creatures, so this kind of enables the multiplayer aspect. The only humans you're going to see are actually players, which is pretty cool, and any other NPCs are going to be creatures or monsters and things like that. We're not actually going to have any human ones, which is apparent from what they've said so far. I would presume maybe they might have ghoul NPCs. I'm not sure if they're classed as humans. That's going to be quite interesting, but all of the interactions with humans are actually going to be based around player interactions. And they also say that for anyone who's interested in playing the storyline on single player, or actually playing the PvE experience, which is players versus enemies or AI such as monsters, if people want to play that single player or don't have any friends to play with, they can actually have one of these experiences in single player. I'm not sure if they're going to have certain servers to play single player on, or if it's going to be local based on single player, but they are actually going to let you play a lot of the missions and everything in single player, which is really cool. And like I said before, there's so much substance here and so much potential to base a lot of the West Virginia folklore, such as the cryptids, such as Mothman and the Wendigo. I'll try and put some pictures on the screen of them here, but there's a lot of potential to actually make stories around these, or make things maybe spooky or creepy, so I'm really looking forward to them featuring those in a game, because to me Fallout obviously has crazy monsters, so there's nothing really that seems surprising in that regard, but I wouldn't think that they'd actually feature things out of folklore or weird monsters in the game. So it's going to be really interesting to see if they actually do, and how they're actually going to approach this. And also it's going to enable the opportunity to make videos about these creatures and conspiracy theories, and basically just talk about them in that sense. And they're also going to allow us to use nukes to actually nuke areas of the map. I'm not sure how they're going to do this. I'm not sure if the areas are going to literally disintegrate or blow up, or if it's just going to increase the radiation levels around the area. But as players, you are going to actually be allowed to use nukes to drop around the map, and like I said, I'm not sure if you're going to have to buy these, if you're going to have to get materials to build them, or if it's just like mini nukes. But it's going to be quite entertaining to see how people use these, if they use them to eliminate enemies, structures or settlements, and if you can use them to eliminate other people's settlements, because at this point I know that it's mainly a PvE experience, but I'm really not sure if you're allowed to attack other players, because if you can, I know that nukes are going to be a crazy thing to actually utilize, but I'm hoping it's kind of a team-based thing, because that could cause a lot of destruction, and I know a lot of people don't really want it to be a PvP sort of system. But using nukes at all is going to be crazy, because you know how powerful they are in single player with a fat man and the mini nukes, so we only have to kind of imagine at this point what that's going to be like. And the last thing I have to note on here, the last thing that they've actually told us in all of the information, is the fact that we're actually going to be able to use the VATS targeting system. So if I press Q here, it will actually enable the VATS mode. We're on Fallout New Vegas, so I'm just going to show you an example, and that's the Vault-Tec assisted targeting system it stands for, and it displays the chance you will hit along with the condition of each body part, and it allows you to actually target each body part. So in the older versions of the games it did freeze time, in the newer versions of the games it slows down time, but there is things still going in motion, so the enemies can move. But in the older versions of the game, like Fallout 3 and New Vegas, it did freeze time in place like it does here. But in the new game they say that it won't affect time, it's mainly just used as a targeting system. So obviously if you want to shoot better, or if you want to hit things dead on, you can actually use the VAT system, but the enemies will still be in motion and it won't slow down or freeze time. You can still get hit by enemies, especially if they're bosses or if they do a lot of damage, but it will still enable you to do more damage. So that's basically all we know so far on Fallout 76. I just wanted to make a video actually presenting a lot of this information. I will also do one on the Elder Scrolls 6 game, mainly just speculation though, because we haven't yet got much information on that. But if you like the video, leave a like on the video, leave a comment below telling me if I've missed any information out or if you have any suggestions. If you want to see daily videos just like this, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.